Hello guys and welcome to the live play video. We're gonna go 4 tables on PokerStars. We're gonna talk about every hand that we are in, our thought process and everything close to it. We have interesting spot immediately on table number 1 where we step with small size and now the guys are betting, which I don't think it has sense because his c-bet is high frequency, so I'm not sure he would ever uh, check behind flush draw. So and on the river he actually reps a flush. We don't have. I mean, our blockers are not that great, but this guy would never play the hand that he reps with his 75% c-bet in position. He doesn't defend his check range enough, so yeah, it was just easy call. We are always mixing something. Today will be a live play video. I think that's like the most uh, best approach. So we mix a little bit of everything, a little pool analysis, a little bit of gameplay video, hand analysis. We're gonna mix in some solvers. So we're gonna have a lot of interesting stuff. So let's now go deep into the action. We're gonna talk about the spot that we encounter. I think that's the best principle. So there's nothing specific that we will focus to. Just wherever hand take us, we will go there. Unfortunately, we lose one table and we will immediately get another one. And I'm here. Okay. Let's have an interesting and fun session. That is my wish for today. Table number 3, we have ante table. I think ante tables are also really good because it reward your will to play pots. So yep, I like to play them. Table number 1, we're gonna open if everybody folds. Here we're gonna fold ace 9 to isolation. If 4 10 will be fold, 5 jack also. Um, Soon I'm moving to iPoker actually after the scoop. I'm going to vacation next week and I'm back at the beginning of the scoop. And after the scoop, I will be playing iPoker NL400 plus there. Um, it has to do with banning scripts on iPoker. On my side, they already banned it, so skin by skin, they will just get rid of these scripts that ruin the game, and I have a big and good rake back there. And yeah, there's a lot of tables, NL400, a lot of action, and we're gonna make videos from iPoker, and also there is no any restrictions on iPoker, so there you actually see picture hand range in every spot. On PokerStars they restricted a bit to, and with my breakthrough program you actually see a range, but you see it as written, and on iPoker that's even better. Table number 2, a really good board for a range. We have big enormous range advantage. And we can do two things with our hand. We can bet 1/3, or we can bet bigger and be more polarized. I think betting 1/3 is still my preferable play because I see that guy is folding versus c-bet 42%. Um, we're not gonna be on this board floated. Not gonna be check raised near enough, and for sure I know that this guy, his check raise is 13%, and it's mostly 11% against 1/3 size, and there he should be check raising. Um, this guy has polar check raise, and he will not raise many top pair hands that should be raised. So yeah, definitely I think against him 1/3 is better. Table number 4, we have ace king. We're not gonna get any action. Table number 3, we are calling 4-6 always. We're defending it. King 3-4. This guy will probably bet 1/4 or 1/3. That's his strategy on this type of boards. We actually have also a new feature that currently is unavailable in PokerStars. We have a hand range across all type of boards. There are more than 40 boards, around 40, 39 or 40 boards that we add. So basically all type of boards are in. So you can immediately see what is their strategy on every type of boards, on flop turns and rivers. So really insane. Thing. It feels like you see their cards, because you will know their strategy, check raising strategy on these boards, barreling strategy, how they defend against c bets in 3-bet pot, single raise pot on every type of board. So definitely that's one more reason why we actually why I actually would prefer playing on iPoker. We can check behind, we can bet here. I think if we are betting, we want to be bluffing this hand. So this time I will be checking behind. It's not always. Also, we don't want to have spade. We want to have some diamonds when we are bluffing. This is his bet check bet line. Here actually we want to do a mix with check raising and calling. Having a backdoor is also nice for check raise. So we will go 12.5, 2 point. I think this is okay, and I'll be folding against this guy. Usually this size is good, 2.5, but actually on this type of boards, um, it's better to have a bigger size like 3 to 3.5 because it's more polarized. This is the strategy I use against this player. So yep. Uh, this is really bad in every way. Let's see, he's c-bet and 3-bet. Still gonna be calling with my middle pair and backdoor flush, backdoor straight and backdoor flush. Let me see, c-bet and 3-bet to check raise. He didn't ever do it. I think I just missed the size there actually. That was the biggest mistake. He can still have some draws, and our hand, he will never do it with aces, and we block pocket 10, so, and we block ace 10. I don't think he has ace 9, so yep. We are blocking decent portion of his value range that is mostly pocket 10s and ace 10, I would say. So I think, yep. We made mistake by size. We want to be polar. Usually I prefer 2.5, but actually in this spot, you're because of the board structure. For example, if the board is, let's say, queen 7-6, yeah, then you go smaller. But when the board is like this and turn can change, I just made mistake. I want to be more polar. Going like 3x plus size, it's good. So mistake by me, but his play is really bad because with our 10 we actually block a lot of his value, and his hand actually looks like a combo draw or a draw or like a flush draw, because he would never do it with aces. And yep, ace king has sense to be doing it, but this player is not doing that with ace king from what I know about him. And then his value range is narrow to like a ace 10, pocket 9s, ace 9 he doesn't have in range a lot. It's not all ace 9 suited that are 3-betting, so some are the calling. He calls like 5%, so some of ace 9 suited will be calls. Pocket 9s has also sense, so his value range is like pocket 9s, pocket 10s that we block, and even ace 10 when he blocks top 2, I don't think it has sense a lot of to go with the 3-bet. So I feel his value range is like 9s and 10s most of the time, and he can easily have hand like this type of hand, or even hand like king queen with a club. Um, Multi I'm not gonna bluff with this. If I want to bluff, I would bluff hand like queen jack or queen 10 or jack 10, blocking like pocket jacks, pocket 10s. We block pocket jacks, but still not enough for us to be betting in a three-way. Even this board is really good for our range, but this guy is uh, weaker player, so yeah, we're just going to mark him as a weaker player, and we will not do anything. Queen jack, I think actually it's preferring a bet, small step. Um, when it's this is his check 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 fold, so when he checks twice in position, he's not calling a lot, he's not folding a lot, and he's also calling with hands like a king high, so yeah, I'm just gonna give up if I didn't bet the turn. I think with our heart, I think also it is better to just bet the turn and then go with the bet on the river and decide what we want to rep on the river. We can rep hand like pocket 7s with a block, or pocket 8s with the block, or like hand like a 6 suited with a block bet. Uh, Queen Jack generally, because of his poor blockers, are basically mostly going into the block size. So If we have hand like a 10 jack, then definitely we can, with our blockers play, we can do it with the or bet also. We're gonna be betting bigger here. I don't like Orbet here actually because he has Jack 9 in the range, all of the combinations, and also King Jack. And when we think about our range of double barrel, this is actually a really bad card for us because, for example, we are not barreling hand like a Queen Jack on the turn. So yeah, we can go with the block, and I think I will do it. But also this hand is actually bad for a range. Even check on the river is okay, but this guy is really passive. So against him, I just want to go with the block as an exploit, and I don't need that much protection of my range because this guy will not exploit my unbalance in this spot. And I think with going with the block bet is okay there. But generally he will have a lot more straights than we're gonna do because actually he's gonna have in the range hand like a jack 8 off that is defending big blind versus small blind. He's gonna have hands like floats with the jack X hand like a jack 7 of spade, jack 5 of spade. That's all calling on 1/3. So yep, definitely he has more straights, more pair plus draw hands, and also off combinations. So definitely better card for his range. And on the river, I think, basically against a decent player. I'm gonna forbid this combination against this guy, and we will go 25.7. Mm, Around 25-20% of king queen is king queen off is forfeiting, so we use this combination. And this guy is also a little more against us. I saw 25% betting hero, so yep. And we are falling to all in. We are forfeiting around 25% of ace jack and king queen off, around 80% of around we were gonna bet bigger size here. Around 80% of ace queen off. Also our bluffs will be hand like a king 10 suited, some king jack suited, some ace 9, ace 10 suited hands. We have also around 25% of queen jack suited and jack 10 suited, so that is how our range actually looks like. We will try to find the new table and see if we can find it, and we can immediately. I'm not in, I think, only one wait list, so yep. With our hand, we will not be bluffing. We have a lot of worst hands to be, and if we are bluffing all of this, we are doing it too much. And yep, he should be betting frequently. Ace jack 7. I don't know why he's not doing it. He's small. This is small blind versus big blind pop up, and definitely he's C betting 45%, and we could try to find a new one. Don't like these breaking tables, but okay. We have a heads up table also, but I don't think we will. I don't think this guy will play that much. Uh, we are betting our 3-9 suited for sure. This 7, I would say it's still better for the big blind, but our hand is with blockers to 8-9. We have a decent potential of bluffs on the rivers, and here he's gonna have a lot of hands like ace 3 off, ace 5 off, that are calling the turn also, or can also check raise hand like an ace 5. Let's see his check raise on the turn. 8%. Usually this line by pool analysis is really value heavy, and especially against even this guy is spewy reg. He's not actually good reg. So this size looks to me bluffy. Actually looks to me really bluffy. Okay. But we have basically the worst hand we can have, so there is no a need to do anything. But yeah, it looks he's really polarized, so he used a really big size. We want to go here actually big size, and we're gonna turn our 7 into bluff with the diamond, and I'm gonna continue putting pressure on turns and rivers. Let's see his strategy against the bigger bets, falling 50%. Let's see what he calls against bigger bets. Mostly hands like top pairs, so yep. Our hand is decent, has decent bluff potential also. Blocking ace 9, which is important, blocking two pairs. Sevens are mostly a 3-bet one way or another, so it's not that important to block set. It's most important on a board like ace king 3 or ace king 4 or ace king 5. Then yeah, it's much more important. I'll go big size here. Pocket trees against Nate that is distributing only 6% against us. It's actually gonna be fold. Actually, we so have also heads up opportunity to just play a bit because other tables are taken. So yeah, we will try to do it. And ace deuce on 7-9 and deuce. Usually bigger size is preferable here, so we're gonna use bigger size. And this hand is also decent if he check raises as a 3-bet bluff. Um, I'm gonna check behind. We're not gonna bet check bet as this is a bluff because actually our hand's not that good as a bluff in this spot because a lot of our straights are double barreling frequently, so we're just gonna be folding it. I'm gonna call king 10, mix it with three betting and calling it because the isolation is here. I'm gonna call it most of the times. Okay, we will actually put ourselves in another ante-table. Calling king 10, check raise is fine. Calling is fine. This guy's opening 60%. He's gonna raise limper with. He's gonna raise limper actually. He's gonna raise limper quite on the tighter side. He should be bluffing here without equity hand like a queen jack of hearts actually. I don't see that ace actually hits him decently here. He's now really polarized. I don't think he has threes, fours, or sixes into ISO range, so and I don't think I hand is not that bad as a shove, uh, as a bluff shove. But I just don't see this guy. I just don't see this guy. I mean, he's really tight. But I'm just gonna call him off because he reps sixes and ace 10 and pocket tens. He reps really narrow range on the river because most of his value ranges are actually over pairs that are double barreling. This guy's not bluffing without equity, so um, yeah, he actually reps sixes, aces, and pocket tens, and I think sixes are also over betting, and I don't think that he actually has pocket sixes in the isolation on the UTG because his opening range is only 16%. So he's not isolating when the limper is here with pocket sixes. So he actually reps hand like ace 10, and I also thought that he doesn't have ace 10 off. So then he really reps not that much, and we're gonna actually have hands like ace 6, like ace 10 off in the range. So yep, definitely. On the river, he will not be betting hand like a jacks, queens, kings. So he's really polarized. Like in my head, it was like mostly tens and ace 10. suited, and we block, and the board blocks ace-10 suited. So like two combinations, and this guy's also not very good. So he will use this scary card as a bluff. Yep. I just here it's really little, so I can fold strong hand like this. Um, this guy's a weaker player. We're gonna mark him, and on this board we're gonna be checking against unknown guy, and we have the other tables, so we're gonna go into them. Here against unknown player I'm gonna fold. Not bad as a check raise actually. So against really basically player that I didn't ever play against, and I'm not familiar with his strategy or anything, I think it's fine to fold it. Against an ISO we're gonna be folding. Against when we ISO and we face a bet, the ranges are in my pool analysis, ranges are actually double stronger 2x basically. Uh, so yeah, we're just gonna be folding it. So people actually three bet, uh, for example, button versus cutoff 13%, 14%, and when it's ISO, it's like 7 to 6%. We're gonna raise against we can presume weaker player, uh, just to get value. I don't think he has like 4x or 9x, so I'm just gonna go with. Um, I'm gonna go with block on the river. We still get a lot of value, so I think block is fine. Here we actually want to use a bigger size again, so I made a mistake. With our hand, we want to use the 2/3 size. It's better on these low boards, and also the low pair boards, it's actually better to use 2/3 size. I see a lot of people just advocate for 1/3, basically because, for example, if the board is like 4/4 deuce, then yes, actually has a lot of sense to be using 2/3. But when the board is like 8/8x or 9/9x, um, actually big blind has decent amount of trips, but my opening range is wider than the GTO range, so uh, actually I have more trips because I'm gonna open Jack 8 off and he's not gonna defend Jack 8 off, so actually it favors me, and that's why I don't go with 1/3. I actually go with a 2/3 size. If the board is 10-10 uh, 3, let's say, I use 1/3 because we are neutral in the terms of trips advantage. But on these lower boards, you actually, uh, if the big blind doesn't have advantage on you, you actually want to be using the bigger size. And our hand is also really good for that. We're folding this. King 3 is a call. He used bigger size, which is okay. Against this player, we are calling the turn and folding the river because he's opening 29 on the button, so he will have a lot of hands like ace 8 off, ace 9 off with the clubs. Um, and actually here he should be bluffing all of them, and this guy river aggression is 27, so he will never bluff and just fold then against him to a triple barrel. Ace 10 got there, so he should be bluffing ace 8 off, ace 9 off that he has to be having in the opening range. We're checking back the turn. I think it's standard. Bet turn card. Um, I was just gonna be jamming here. We have ace queen and ace jack off. We have basically ace queen off always, and turn the ace queen with the ace of hearts is dicey play, blocking queen jack. So yep, I'm just gonna be shoving here. I have ace queen off with queen with hearts, ace with hearts. So yeah, having this type of hand is actually really nice to protect the balance at range, and I think it's okay. We still need to defend some Jack X on turn. Jack 6 is actually really decent because he has unblockers to his bluffs. So it's clear call on the turn, and on the river we need to decide. And this guy is really, really full of shit. I'm gonna call him off. And just based on the way we play against each other, he's always using so stupid lines with the, like 3x spot because, you know, uh, it doesn't have sense for value. He's never doing it for value. Here, if he has like ace jack, why would he play it like this? We also block ace jack. And flush is not strong enough to go 3x on the river. So the guy is just full of shit. We played a lot against each other. And I would say he's winner, but he's spewy and bad in my opinion. A6, we're just gonna be betting the river. King 10 and Jack 3-6. King 10 we can go bet check. It's both are fine. Both are fine. King 10 is folding the turn. King Jack is 3-betting. And yeah, from what I remember, this guy is always on tilt when playing against me. We just have that effect on people. King 7, we're gonna be checking. We're gonna go 7.5 here. Let's delay 1/3. I think it's fine. Okay, Queen 4. It's close between folding. Check call the river. We want to have in this block is not that good because he can just check 10x or 6x on the turn behind, and on the river we actually now are decent amount high in our checking range, so yeah, definitely we're gonna be calling when it's a heads up. The ranges are really wide and we have to just call. 7-9, I'm just gonna be calling there because actually it's really bad board for me and my range. I just can't be raising there with 7-9. I don't have any set in the range, so I just have to be protecting my range and just calling here. And now we also want to think about what this do for my range. I don't see, again, it's not that good. We have ace queen, we have ace king, so it's not that great for my range. I'm gonna be checking behind actually here with our hand. And if he, for example, now blocks, I have pretty nice raise. Um, and now we have pretty clear bet. We're gonna have some ace of diamonds hand that's gonna be checking behind, so we are protecting our range. I think it's good play here. We are actually saying we have ace x here, and we have perfect hand to be calling it off. The point here is that he actually can value raise, can like ace queen, because we look really capped and we have easy call now. He have queen 9. We lost minimum. We defend our range really nicely. So yeah, just really we played the hand really good. The guy just had a better hand. A lot of guys would be playing it differently, but it's not just important the result of the hand, it's important how we think about our range. For me, it's that always number one priority, how I think about my range. And yep, ace deuce is fold actually on 9-9-6. And when I see that my range is in trouble, and on that board actually big blind range of everybody, of every player will be in trouble because on most runouts you're not gonna have full houses. And if you're just fast playing your hands, good opponents can know that and just exploit you heavily uh, in the runouts when the paired boards or for example ace runouts like that. They can just heavily exploit you. So yeah, I just want to be thinking of my range. We have the nuts. We're gonna lose some value in many spots, but generally our range will gain value because our hand will protect our weaker hand. For example, it's way better to have our hand than a hand like ace 9 on the river that we're gonna value bet. Generally, on that run out, our hand is in deep trouble. So yeah. Actually, his delay line is really strong by what he plays, which is pretty insane because he c-bets 80% and he's delay c-betting like over pairs. So that means when he's betting, he's actually full of weak hands and bluffs. And in delay range, he doesn't have that bluffs because that bluffs are going into the c-bet range. So yep, let's see after betting turn, and he used normal size. He has some bluffs. This is actually low pair, but he's value betting the middle pair there. And he would just bluff all the draws on the flop, all the spade draw. Our hand is close to be calling on the river. So yeah, it's close to be calling on the river. We're gonna be calling. We are tributing pocket sevens. You see what is happening when the guy that c-bets 76%, he's checking the board that is actually high c-bet frequency. So what that means, when this happens, I usually have one really good strategy and one good tip. I just check my whole range behind. I think that's like the best strategy because we know that he would c-bet. You see, like many trashy hands are in a c-bet. So on this board, he will just use all of his trash and weak pairs and bluffs as a c-bet. So against this player, I like to be uncapped and just check my entire range, and I think it's really the best strategy to be, and you will be then really hard to play against, and you will counter his strategy. That's obviously lacking bluffs because bluffs will always be in a c-bet range here. He's not blocking the river. And also pull under bluff this line heavily, and this guy will also under bluff it heavily. Let's see his block bet. You see, he had one bluff, but actually that was not a bluff. Had just recognized it as a bluff, but actually he was value block betting the ace high on that spot. Um, in this spot, in my pool analysis, it's like so under bluffed, and especially this profile of the player. That is because all of his bluffs and all of his trash hands are in the c-bet range. His delay ranges doesn't have any bluffs. So yep, we have also a choice that if we want to turn our force into bluff against him, this is his bad fold, and especially against me, he will never believe me this line. So yep, um, just folding his way, exploiting him really much, and just call him down when he c-bets a lot because our pocket four is gonna be a lot more willing to call flop turn and shove on the river than this line. So yeah, we are four betting kings, which I think is okay. We can call it sometimes, also it's not that bad. 10.5. And now the question is interesting. What he doing with the jacks, queens in this spot? What is he doing with these hands? Let's go one third. I will tell you my experience. What they do? They usually just check raise the queens always, mixing it with pocket jacks. Uh, he's gonna have some ace queens and also some ace kings that we're gonna be double floats with hand like a ace and king of diamonds. We have actually clear check on the river. He didn't raise queens. Okay, I just told you what generally they do, but this time he didn't do it. Okay. I'm gonna be folding here. We're gonna have many better hands, so we can actually fold this. A lot of interesting hands. I didn't expect it, but a lot of really interesting hands are going on. A lot of really interesting strategies also. So it will be, I think, really nice video for you guys because um, from what I know, when I combine my player reads and uh, information that my HUD gives me on players, and when I combine that with the range research, and I did a lot of range researching how my pool actually play, and not just my pool, how other pools plays, how pools of uh, lower limits plays. So I'm really familiar how the pool is playing, and that's really helpful in a way because when you're, for example, playing against a guy that basically I don't know much about, and I don't have specific reads on him. I just use the pool reads, and that would be like perfect combination. When you know how the pool play, how the player play, you're just gonna crush them. Also, I saw really interesting video before like 2 3 days about one guy that was training coach on some detoxic poker site, and he was telling how aggressive bankroll management is great, how that happened, how you should be using aggressive bankroll management, how like three BB winner or 5 BB winner actually will be having it will be like risk of ruin will be around 10 to 15% if they use like 20 buy-ins, and then they were actually saying that 9 BB winner, which would be a really crusher, have less than 5% risk of ruin if they are using like 10 to 15 buy-ins. And yep, I just send them my graph. Uh, really fucked up spot because this line is actually over value heavy when they go to the river, but this guy is also big whale. I'm gonna call, but this is actually really value heavy. Uh, I made a pool analysis of this spot, and this spot is like actually like crazy value heavy. So, but I'm still not be able to fold against player like this. But I should be folding based on my pool analysis. It would be a really high exploitative play that I did play. Did I fold now? Okay, let's get back into the story. So I was always because when I quit my job, and actually here we have a lot of hands like a queen jack with the jack of diamonds, queen jack with the king of diamonds. So actually I'm just gonna be overbetting here with the 3-5. I think usually block bet this hand, but against this player I will just use the overbet size. Um, Queen 8 is a clear call, and this guy is also he's using like over 16%. Jack 10 king 10 off, 8 10 off. Polarized range definitely. I'm gonna fold queen 8. We're gonna go against like 5x. We have many better hands. A lot of them. So yeah, we and I'm not familiar. He never played like this hand. He's spewy. He can, but they can also just because we catch them. He can just jam over pair, for example. Now And I just want to have hand that is better. Hand like a pair plus open-ended draw, like 8-9. It's better than this queen 8. And also with queens, we are actually blocking some king queen. But even when if he has king queen, it's not like slam dunk calling 80 blinds just to see that. So yep, we're gonna be stabbing here and be stabbing here. I will continue the story because it's really interesting. I when I quit my job and start playing poker, and I had all that money that I had was like $300, and that was all I had. Because situation in Croatia was really bad, and the I was finishing law school, and I was working actually for like $200 a month. Just imagine that. That was the times with the big depression, with big crisis, and that was like that. So uh, I just knew, okay, I have that money and that's it. I will not get second chance. And I was like always starting from the bottom, and I was always really careful about my role. And I had like now I have more than like 500, 600 binds for the limit because I don't want to be uh, ever in a situation where I need to be thinking or moving down or stuff like that. And yep, I just read this video and I just watched the video and I thought, wow, I'm so bankroll neat. It's so, but actually, the what happened before like 2 months, I get into the downswing of, and I will show you guys here. And just let me play the hand first, and at the end of the video, I will just show you. And I will just show you that you don't believe in stuff that people are saying, and even they have like a mathematical background of it, you know. Call for. Um, I'm gonna actually shove against him, and he will snap us with queens, so that's great. When he used that big size, I think he will just call it, and he just snapped it against us, so that's great. Um, Before like 2 months or two and a half months, something like that, um, I actually lost in 30k hands, 65 binds, and I'm a near 10 BBs winner on PokerStars and on across all the other sites. So I mean, uh, if the 10 BB winner can lose in 30k hands, 65 binds, what the hell are you talking about? I just paused the graph there and explained everything, and the guy just removed my comment and said, if this is actually a real graph, he answered like that and then removed my comment because I told him, yeah, the graph is real. Check it out on the smart hand. You can just check the graph out. It's real, and you can see my other graphs on my other side. It's all real. And yep, just the guy just removed the comment. So basically, what I'm trying to say, guys, don't fall to stuff like that because in that 30k hands, I had so insane run. I ran 24 times kings to aces, 24 times and lost single one of them, and I ran around 14 times ace king suited on aces on the cutter versus button or small blind versus big blind. So that's actually crazy thing. And the guy will tell you, okay, just use aggressive bankroll managers, just like 15, 20 buy. If you're good, you're not gonna have any trouble. That's bullshit. And yeah, just don't trust guys like that. Definitely. Okay. Table number one, really interesting. He did tank, and called. Okay, we're gonna have check on the turn. But I think like the 10 is snap call on the turn. Not you don't need to think anything about it. You're not thinking about do we want to raise or not. So we're gonna just be checking the turn and calling a stab and calling a shove on the river. Our hand is like perfect for doing. We don't want to shove here. We have like really great hand. He'll be calling here pocket pairs. He can turn them into bluff. The guy's really spewy, so yeah, I'm just gonna be calling, and we're gonna get really good river because now we looks like really weak, and he can just turn hand like a pocket fours, pocket fives, pocket eights into a bluff, and I think it will be okay. He actually had a straight. Okay, that's like we have to admit really big cooler, really big cooler. But he was thinking about raising. Okay, he was actually thinking about raising it. Has sense because on a 10 you just tank. Why would you tank that much? Because 10 is like fist pump call on the flop. It's not ever a raise on the flop, so there's no sense of be. So I immediately discard to having a 10. Jack X, yep, has sense. Maybe hand like Ace Jack because Ace Jack is sometimes raising, or hand like a King Jack. We're gonna fold there. So definitely that's the story. Uh, because variance, if I can as a 10 BB winner have that insane variance where I in 30k lost 65 binds, if I can do it, you can also have it. And yep, I mean, uh, and if you're listening to guys like that, if you're listening to guys like that, then yeah, you're gonna have really you can get in really shitty spot, and especially if you're playing poker professionally, and if it's your like income, then yeah, definitely you always need to be careful. Uh, Interesting spot here. His range is 19%. We have clear call. Let's see if okay he has 4-5 off, which should never be there. And really, we're falling the river here because a lot of his bluffs are now beating our hand. Uh, I don't like shoving sevens on the turn as a bluff. Doesn't have sense. So we're just gonna be calling sevens, and actually on the flop we can think about check raising as them as a bluff. But if we played it as a call, because his range is polarized, so he's gonna have hand like ace two or ace three suited, ace deuce or ace three off, ace six off, hands like that. And yep, you know, why would you want to raise him with sevens in that spot when it's like cutoff versus button? Then we are folding sevens or check raising them as a bluff. So yeah, in this spot where the bigger blind has kind of like a 4-5 off, with your pocket sevens you actually have. We saw that he has 4-5 off. So with your pocket sevens you're gonna have massive uh, equity, and or if he's having like ace three off, which or ace deuce off, which is actually a bluffing hand. We just want to be, then we can just call. Uh, but in other scenario, it's sevens are not that winning as a call. So basically, the point of the story is whenever now when I have a lot more experience with people, and uh, I started my Discord channel, I met a lot of mid-stakes crushers and mid-stakes winning players. Some also high-stakes players are there, and when you get to know their stories, and generally through poker and through your own experience, you're gonna just know uh, that people are full of like. I mean, when I immediately saw video, I just couldn't believe that. And I saw comments and people are saying, "Yep, that's correct." Yep, we're gonna go with Zorbet here. So definitely, I always advise, and also the one guy actually I watch on the that I actually follow, that I actually think it's a good player from like pool of them that I don't think they're good at all. Is Jeremiah Williams, which I think is a really good player, and he was also saying that you need really a lot of buy-ins to survive many because variants can be like really cruel, and many players will not know what to do. Because for me, I mean, I wasn't panicking like 65 binds in in like 2 weeks, and you just can't do anything. I mean, you get I get 24 times kings versus aces, and three times of that for in a four bet pot where I actually flop a middle set. It was like ace king for 300 big blinds deep, and when stuff like this happens, it's so insane. But if it happened to me, it can happen to everybody, and you always need to be careful with with if you're playing professionally. If you're not playing professionally, then okay. If it's not your only income, if you have other stuff, then okay, you can gamble it. But everything else is a gamble, because if the like crushers can lose 65 binds, and yeah, and it happened really like without any problems, uh, then it can happen to basically everybody. And then yeah, just think about that. Multi-way pot, multi-way pot. Mhm. The guy is stabbing flop. I think we just have to call against this guy because his range is 40%. That indicates he's gonna have a lot of hand like a ace 4 off. He's gonna have hands like a king 10 off, jack 10 off. All of these hands that he can actually just be stabbing on the flop as a bluff. You see, he's also stabbing jack 9. He's stabbing hand like a 7, which is a blocker. We have double blockers here. I'm gonna call with eights. And his tape flop pattern is 80%, which indicates this guy will not be slowing down with any draw. He did have draw two out of two time. After betting turn position, and after betting turn out of position, we see that he had it. I'll now not bluff catch this type of player now when the river regression is 32%. Um, I think it's okay just to. I mean, it sucks because now we actually block 7-8 that he can have, and I feel like his value range is a two pair now, and our hand is decent in this spot. That's actually the worst thing, but from my pool analysis, this type of player just on the river they shut down. That's the problem. And after betting turn out of position, he actually had 3 out of 3 time top pair plus. So yep, I'll just be following the river. So guys, a few more minutes and we're gonna conclude the video. I think a lot of you guys told me on my Discord that you prefer like shorter videos, so we can just check them fully. When I stream and I just post the video in 5 hours, it's like hard to watch. No matter how hands can be interesting, it's you when you watch like the greatest movie, you're gonna have trouble to watch the movie when the whatever it's happening like more than like few hours. You just can't be watching it. So definitely, yep. Definitely, it's better like this. We're gonna mix. I'm gonna put some streams also, but I just thought that I want to have diversity of my content and have a lot of shorter videos, a lot of videos like live play session of an hour where we talk about some interesting hands that are happening, then hand review, then pio solver, then um, range research. So a lot of stuff like that. After check check, this guy is also not bluffing these lines after check check at all. He's mostly having like a pair, and he's not gonna turn here like a king x into bluff, and a lot of 5x that if he's turning into bluff, he's gonna use them on the turn with the hearts. So yep, think against him, I will be folding. Uh, so yep, I'll just try to make a lot of different stuff just to mix it in to see how it's gonna go. And I will try to always do it with 100% of my uh, play, how I usually play. I'll just talk about everything I know. I'll give and say, so there will not be closing of any informations because yep, I want to have complete. Yeah, whoever saw my streams, I'm always like telling what I know, and I think that's the best principle because by that, from what I doesn't know or what I don't know, I'm gonna learn, and just facing that, I think it's the best. There are spots that I'm unsure that I don't know. Yeah, no problem. I'm just gonna admit it, learn through it, and that's the best way. That's the best method that works. Okay, king 10, we're gonna be calling small blind versus cutoff. Let's see, around 10%, I think. Yeah, more like 14. 14 would be all suited aces, 8s plus, maybe even 7s plus. We're calling the flop always, and the guy should be checking the turn frequently. If he's double barreling here, we are shoving. Yeah, we're just gonna be shoving here. And putting bluffs because he should be checking the turn. Often we have a lot of 10x hands that are calling, so we're gonna be shoving there. Kings we're gonna be calling. Usually I told you in my streams, my strategy, we are 150 blinds deep. I don't have a 5-bet range at all, so I mostly call. So yep, we're just gonna be calling there, and we're gonna be calling it off. Against this player, we're just gonna be calling. We're not gonna be raising kings. We would be raising some hand like aces, some hand like king, queen, but kings are just too good, and we want to put him that he just barrel it off. This guy can just have here like ace three suited, or he had tens, which he four betted. I don't know why deep, but I mean we just can do nothing. This guy we're never folding to, so yeah. And raising the flop, I told you, we are uncapped. We can actually raise the flop there, but he's like four bet. My strategy general here, I think it's really good. We are stabbing this hand on a queen 7-8. I think my strategy there is actually really good strategy because 150 blinds to 200 blinds. If you're having a 5-bet range, you can be really exploited. And I think actually this is the best strategy. You're gonna be uncapped. We can have here pocket tens, we can have kings, we can have ace king, we can have all of these hands, and yeah, you just and this guy is like, I mean, really spewy, so calling him off like snapping the river. And yeah, I think also 5-bet range. There's a lot of discussion in this spot, but I'm gonna tell you my experience how I play. I like to play pots. I like to see flops in these spots, and if I'm having a 5-bet range, I just can be balanced in the right way. Because if you're 150 blinds deep, and you're 5-betting, it's we have clear call with ace high there. He's only repping 10x. 9x is continuing, and a lot of 10x should be continuing. So, yep. Definitely interesting hand. Also, just gonna tell you, and also my strategy. I think it's when you're uncapped and you have only call range, because he actually did now 4-bet pocket tens, which is mistake. Uh, when we are deep, it's definitely big mistake to be doing that. So yep, we can actually punish if the guy is doing this. He's 160 blind deep. He's going with the 4 bets, which actually doesn't have a lot of sense. With pocket tens, yep, then we can say okay, we're gonna have 5-bet range against them. But when you're having just a call, if you're having just a call, you call like all your hands. You're continuing. You're just calling. You're gonna be uncapped and you can just play pots and you're gonna be playing much better than he's gonna be playing. You're uncapped in every spot, and that's definitely great strategy. So 100 blinds I have 4-bet of course, 5-bet range I'm gonna shove, but 150 the situation is changing because then in position player should be a lot more polarized than this, and yep. I'm gonna be following about this big of the size. And here we're gonna go at 12.6 3x. On the big blind, we're gonna go to be betting 2/3. And by this hand, we will conclude the video. Our range on the big blind is really polarized, so we'll have hand like a king 5 suited, queen 5 suited, 4 5 suited, 5 7 suited. So a lot of trips will be in our range. Our ace queen wants to be betting also, so yeah, really nice play. Uh, Actually, we bet range on these boards as a big blind because of our polarization. And yep. Really interesting hand. We were deep, and it was unfortunate. I think we played our hand perfectly because I mean, we have kings there. We have over pair plus open-ended draw on a board that he can perceive. We don't have ever ace king, or because I don't know how he sees us. He's not good. So he can know our strategy, but actually our strategy is unexploitable when we are 150 blinds deep. Our strategy is great. We are uncapped. We can have everything, and we are against. We see if he's having hands like a pocket tens, uh, all of our really strong hands will be. I mean, okay, he now did get a set, and okay, we're just gonna lose. That's fine. But generally, our strategy will be way better, and by splitting your range with 5 bet, you're just gonna do so poorly deep. And I usually really love to play deep, and when you're uncapped, you can just do a lot of things. You can have really nice board coverage in every spot. So I always advocate you to use this strategy. 150 blinds deep to, let's say, like around 250 blinds deep. This is the best strategy. But when you're over that, actually then has a lot of sense to have a 5 bet range and just use also bluffs in it. But until like 250 blinds, actually this strategy is better. And even like if you're more than like for 300 blinds, still this strategy can be the same. But because of the SPR, you still want to be just building pot pre. So this is like still it's not clear which strategy is better, but definitely until 250 blinds deep, from 150 to 250, for sure this strategy is way better to have only a call for bet range and never 5 bet range. Okay, really nice and interesting spots. I need to show you the graph just to see. Uh, I will post it actually below the video just to see, and you will actually see from 360k to 400k hands. You're gonna see that big downswing of uh, I say it was exactly 65 buy-ins, and we did go through it, and we are now again close to 10 BBs on almost 600k hands. 600,000 hands on PokerStars that we played with my breakthrough HUD in last. Basically, I'm playing last year and 1 month approximately. So the, we're gonna play still this hand, and that will be it for today. And next time we're gonna have something different. Uh, I will see what we'll make, but we're gonna mix. Basically, we're gonna mix everything. What we want to do here, we want to have block size, we want to have so the worst thing is to do 2/3. So no, you want to have block size and you want to go have an overbet size. And actually against him, I will go with the overbet size now. Hand like a 5-6 definitely prefers overbet step because you have really good blockers for 4x. So just think, let's talk about more which hands has sense to be putting in some of the sizes. If we are having hand like a 5-8 suited, also has sense to be into the step or bet range. If we have a draw that contains a 5 or a 6, it also has, for example, flush draw or a hand like, let's say, 3-5 also. Really has sense to go with the or bet range. Which hands do we have we want to be blocked? For example, we are blocking hands like 7x and hands like a jack 10, jack 9, and basically also we want to put some bluffs like an 8 9 there, hand like 8 10. So I would put the block in my bluffs with the block into that size with hands like that, and the hands that are blocking and that have blockers for 4x, I would just use it as or bet size because my value range is 4x. That's it guys for today, and we're gonna see you soon.